Hello, it's Dr. Ubishadow MD, and we are back, right after the vampire arc, which was Tikal's backstory. They quickly realized that Milo the Bard and Scooter the potion vendor was not coming back. So they begrudgingly marched to Port Haven for this next leg of their adventure. Which this one is kind of weird. It's back. This is mostly like story explanation. So um, I don't know what I'm gonna call this arc yet until I actually make the thumbnail. So to be announced on the thumbnail is the arc of this story. Anywho, they eventually arrive at Port Haven and quickly realize that everyone's fucking mean. It's part of my language. Uh, no, everyone's mean, cranky. They got information out of people that they haven't slept in weeks. That's why everyone's cranky. Something like I don't know. They're just up at night. They don't know what's going on. So after looking around the village, I mean the port, they do find their cart with Scooter like selling shit out of it. So they ran over, like, what the hell? Why didn't you guys come back? And to go. Oh yeah, we lost track of time, basically. So they stayed. Actually, I don't think they stayed in inn this time. They just slept like in their cart in this town. They did go to the leaky pipe for like that was the inn, but they only went there for drinks and stuff. Information. Uh, they spent the night. Had them do like Constitution Wisdom saving throw. I can't remember which. I didn't write it down. To see if they were affected by the whatever is happening in this village. And I think Tikal or Milo was affected, and they stayed up all night because apparently a giant eyeball was staring at them, and they get this overwhelming presence north from the village. So they venture the village port. They find the Coliseum. They find out that there's a tournament happening soon. Like as soon as the problem's fixed, they're gonna be having a tournament. You know, people love their tournaments. Evidently, the Coliseum is also the second chapter of the Wild Hunt. The Jill Wayfinder, the twin of Jack Wayfinder that they found in Port Soren or Soren Bay. I forget what I named it now. Uh, Two source materials I have different names, so whoops. Anywho, they make their way north out of the town to a cave, which they circumnavigate, avoiding the much. I think I had them fight a couple of skeletons until they come up into a room with another crystal. I think another crystal. Yes, another crystal in the center, and they know it's like it's foggy, energy's gathering into it. So they come in, and a beholder descends upon them, and this is their first real beholder fight. The first one I threw at them was heavily nerfed. I took out all the lethal stuff. Well, instantly kill lethal stuff. This one I kept in everything. So, opening moves was to call. To call is. No. Rogar's back. Barbarian. Um, he generally tried to stay behind it. Lily the druid turned into a rock elemental and went underneath ground. So the problem was that the only ones I could see during the entire fight was the ranger, the pet wolf, and the call. So every time I did my legendary action with the eye beams, I would choose them. And for some reason, I kept rolling a disintegration ray when I kept on hitting the call, and I eventually evaporated him. Like I hit him 3 times uh with the the disintegration ray, and ended up killing him. I think I said that he turned to ash, other than his rope he had on and his stuff was still intact, but him completely to ash. So that prematurely ended my what I had planned for their mid boss fight type things in the story. Um, that was lackluster. We'll get into that later on. That's the end of this arc. Um, but yeah, at the end of that, I think we ended early because we didn't want to go too far into it without him making another character. So we just ended inside the ports with everyone's like, "Oh my God, we can sleep again! All your heroes!" And you're like, "Yeah, but we lost someone. Oh well." uh, After that, after a couple days, they started holding the tournament in the Coliseum. I keep forgetting that with my group, I cannot have fights against each other. I noticed it when I had I had them do like a level 5 free for all, and that just made everyone angry at each other. But I never learned my lesson. So I think next time when I date this sort of thing, they have to fight NPCs. They have to. Um, I have to think of something for the next campaign anyway. So, make a long story short, Ranger, Halfling, gets ragdolled all over this Coliseum by a monk. Well, by the monk in the beginning of the story. Ayla Burke is her chapter of the Wild Hunt is here actually, and they meet up with her again. Um, so that match was literally me just describing wrestling moves that this poor halfling is getting just chucked about. Um, Lily was oh, well, no, the person who was playing Tikal, a new character named Potter Dumble. He's a human wizard who entered in the tournament to prove himself. Teenager too. I don't know why teenagers seems weird. I restricted him a lot in bars and stuff because of that. It's like, aren't you a little underage? And he's like, why did I do this to myself? Anywho, his fight was actually the closest, like, fight. I think he ended up needing to do 1 more damage or 2 more damage to his opponent, but oh well. Lily was facing against a wizard, I think a wizard, and I pulled some bullshit, and the wizard knew banish and technicality. She was taken out of the ring, so she lost. That opened up like it's another situation like the riot in Arcadia Falls. This one just spawned like its own story after like I had stuff planned, but all got turned around because of this one happenstance. She was legitimately pissed because she was about to win, and she gets uh, taken out by a technicality. So she takes it upon herself to hunt down this person where she's staying, and cold blood murders her. Uh, I mean, does not be discreet about it whatsoever. Not like she is just asking around this like where this person's location is. So when I get back to the second part of the story, you understand why she was arrested. But that's all for now. Until next time.